Hello, Zinger Nation. Welcome back to Flight 50 aboard the Moon or Bust Rocketship, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. My name is Logan Ross, and I am piloting today's mission along with DeFi developer Brian Moir and Ryan Mutant Ape McNamara. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. Happy Mutant Monday.
Mutant Monday, huh?
Are you just coming up with this now, or is this a thing?
No, it's a real thing.
Oh yeah, what do you do on said mutant? What do you do on said Mutant Monday?
You just embrace the mutants on Mutant Monday. You'd understand if you had a mutant ape, but
yeah, you gotta tell everybody you have a mutant.
If I wasn't a poor, I would get myself a mutant. Today's episode is brought to you by the number 2. Also, before we can get started, I need to talk about some safety procedures on this rocket ship. So I need all who are willing and able seated in any of the rows to please activate their like button into the on position to let other space travelers, metaverse travelers know that Moon or Bust is where it's at. Also, got to point out the Benzinga crypto YouTube channel in the description below. If you are here for the crypto content, then you should be there as well. We are going to start streaming exclusively from that channel as soon as it hits 1,000 subscriber-roonies. So go over there and get in early. We'll be doing a giveaway to one of our first 1,000 subs when we hit that mark. I'm thinking an ENS domain would be pretty cool as a giveaway, but I'm open to hear what you guys think, what you guys want as well. What's good, STBC? Nice to see you again. Okay, so we also have a Telegram channel, and we got some sick Moon or Bust merch. See this dope ETH hat right here. And if you join the Telegram, we'll toss you a 25% off discount code. Can't get that alpha anywhere else on the market. All right. With that out of the way, make sure to connect with us on Twitter. As always, come say what's up. Our DMs are open. And also, I want to remind you guys that we are going to try to start bringing on some of our best guests, our best viewers. If you are here often in the comments, then hit us up if you want to come on, and we will make it happen. So let's get into the news for today. So I want to start with the Chainlink Cardano partnership. This is huge for the blockchain space in general. I think mostly for Chainlink, we'll see a lot of that value from ADA flow into Chainlink, and it will connect it to ETH, Polkadot, all these other dope ecosystems. So it's good to see that Cardano is integrating with Chainlink. I have positions in both of these. I think it's good news for both assets. Ryan, what do you think about this integration?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I like your point, Logan. I think it is more bullish for Chainlink than it is for ADA, because Chainlink is going to be multi-chain now to a degree. You know, it's diversifying the risk for Chainlink. Now, if Ethereum ends up failing in some hypothetical scenario, then Chainlink can still survive, unlike most tokens on Ethereum's network. If Ethereum were to fail, then most of these tokens that are on Ethereum will fail with it. But now that Chainlink is integrating with Cardano, it has another avenue to kind of diversify risk. So I agree with you, Logan. This is very bullish for Chainlink. I think it's also very bullish for Cardano. It's very important to have an oracle on a network, and there's no one better than Chainlink. So I think this is bullish for both ADA and for Chainlink.
Dope. Brian, do you have any additional thoughts on this partnership?
No, I think it's going to work really, really well for them. I mean, Chainlink is integrated into a whole different set of projects that you wouldn't even realize they are. Mm-hmm. And the amount of like technology and data you can get back from Chainlink is astounding. So I think it's really exciting.
So does this mean that Chainlink will be on Cardano's network as a Cardano token?
I guess that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I would assume they would eventually have that, but really I think they're just running a node which they can integrate it into Cardano so you can get data from it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll mint new tokens that are like ADA formatted. They might move over a bunch of them, and they also might try to switch Chainlink over to like a Chainlink based token or asset, which would be pretty cool as well. What's up, Zolty? See you out there in the chat. Doing well. Hope you're doing well also. We see STBC is down to come on, talk some NFTs with us. That would be pretty cool. So let's set that up, brother. Okay, so next up, Ryan, I think you have this piece of news for us.
Yeah, man, you got to pull up OpenSea. You got to see this Diamond Hands NFT investor who made $2.8 million on a single NFT in a matter of months. Now, he didn't even have thousands of dollars. He had $100, and he made that into $2.8 million on a single Chromie Squiggle NFT.
Talk about money.
That's about 20,000 times return on his investment. Not percent. That's about 2 million % return on his investment.
God.
Okay, so I have OpenSea pulled up here. How should I go about finding this? Should I just go to Art Blocks and look for it in the squiggles?
I would go to the squiggles, look under recent sales, and then scroll down until you see a 945 ETH trade. That 945 ETH equates to about $2.8 million, just over that, off of a $100 investment.
That's ridiculous.
So this is the second Chromie Squiggle we've seen sell for over $2 million this week, which I think is incredibly bullish for Chromie Squiggles. We've seen the floor go from about 8 or 9 ETH. Now it's up to about 13.5 ETH. So over 50% alpha on Ethereum alone. I'm excited to see where this project goes. I've been watching it for a while, and I think it's only going to be going up right now with these super high sales for these rare Chromie Squiggles.
Very cool. Okay, so I have my screen share now live on the screen, and this is sorted by recently sold. So if you could just point it out to me.
The Chonky Rainbow Boy. That's his name. He's chonky and very rainbow.
That one?
No.
That was chonky.
Recently
you can sort.
sold.
Hey, the floor price is only what, 1.45? Is that what it said?
Yeah, but that's for all of Art Blocks, right? So Art Blocks has a ton of different collections.
Oh, okay.
You have to filter it by a certain collection to see.
Gotcha.
Here she is, the chonker herself. So Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about Art Blocks and about Chromie Squiggles, why this one is so valuable compared to the other ones?
Yeah, so Chromie Squiggles, I'm pretty sure, was actually the first collection of NFTs on Art Blocks. And Art Blocks is almost like an art house for NFTs. They curate collections, and they have a few different segments. So Art Blocks Curated is kind of like the most coveted NFTs in the Art Blocks collection. They also have a few other. They have a Art Blocks Playhouse for some experimental art and a few other different things. But Chromie Squiggles, you see them all over crypto Twitter. Lots of high-end NFT investors are getting into these, and they're algorithmically generated pieces of art. They're pretty cool. And I mean, some of them will sell for 10 to 15 ETH, but then you go up to these rare different types of trades with these Chromie Squiggles, and you can get into the millions of dollars now, as we've seen.
That's crazy.
And look at it. It moves.
I know.
It moves.
Tell the masses, Chromie Squiggles move.
So this guy zonked here. He was clearly very early in Art Blocks. Let's see what else he's got in his collection. He
actually minted that Chromie Squiggle.
Yeah,
and like I said, Mint was about $100 on it 9 months ago.
Wow.
Man, why didn't you tell me about that, Ryan?
I thought I did, man.
Come
You
on,
got
man.
any Chromie Squiggles at Mint?
Don't let me down again, okay?
Okay. Interesting. Not really, honestly. So far, not really.
Well, I guess he doesn't really have to care about really much for quite a while now. He's good. He's set.
He does other art blocks too. I mean, that's what you see. A lot of these blue chip NFT collectors are collecting art blocks, punks, and Bored Apes.
And we should also talk about Cool Cats. While we're talking NFTs, this became the third project to hit a 10 ETH floor just yesterday. The hype surrounding them is pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, I wanted to get one a while ago, but I never pulled the trigger.
I saw the potential, but at the same time, this sounds corny. I didn't really like the art, right? Like, I didn't buy it. I didn't like the art. And as with a lot of those early NFTs, we see them increase in value. I think that Pudgy Penguins could be next. I think they're sitting around 3 to 4 ETH floor. I haven't checked lately, but we saw those gain some hype early on. Same with Cool Cats, and now we see them appreciating even more now.
I'm thinking the whales, the Secret Society of Whales. That's my. I do own a few of those, and I'm hoping that those will be the next ones. A lot of hype in that.
And there have only been 3 NFT projects to hit the 10 ETH floor. First, it was CryptoPunks, then it was Bored Apes, and now it is Cool Cat. So it'll be interesting to see what the 4th project to hit that 10 ETH floor will be. Because as more people get in, it's going to be inevitable that these blue chip NFT projects will get more and more expensive.
So speaking of big money spent on the Ethereum blockchain, this morning, Bitfinex, the exchange, made a little oopsie. And while transferring $100,000 of Tether, they spent, let's see, $23.7 million on gas. So you guys thought you were paying a lot in gas fees. Not quite as much as Bitfinex. Not really sure what went wrong here. They must have not set a limit, and some sort of loop maybe in a smart contract caused it to just burn and burn and burn. So they spent $23 million in fees to make a single $100,000 transfer of USDT. Oops.
Whoopsie.
Right. Hey, probably half of that got burned at least. So, maybe that affected the price of Ethereum just a little bit.
Well, I know I actually saw it was like a 10th of an ETH that got burned. It was really sad compared to the right. I know.
Well, some miner made out with a lot of money then.
I was about to say a miner just some sort of rig got paid handsomely for that.
Oh man, I hope it was mine. I see you have here on the doc $100,000 in Tether, $23 million. Is this the future?
Is this the future of France?
I hope not. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff going on in the fungible token market, a lot of movement. We saw a weekly close yesterday, the one that we have been talking about for months, but we will get to all of that after the interview. So today we have the CEO of Taxfyle on with us today to talk about crypto taxes and how Taxfyle, places itself in the industry. So I'd like to welcome to stream Ricky Lavina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey guys, what's up?
Not too much. So before we really dive into it, could you tell us a little bit about your background, how you started Taxfyle?
Sure. So I'm a CPA. Before I started Taxfyle, I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and then some regional firms. But I'm a CPA. I'm an accountant. And about sorry for the voice. About 6 years ago, started Taxfyle with my 2 co-founders. Basically, trying to democratize the supply side of things in the accounting industry. Meaning, I got a license, my CPA, or you could be an IRS enrolled agent. But basically, you have your accounting license, and in the olden days, you just had to go to an accounting firm, and they pay you via W-2, right? But I felt that our licenses were worth something, out in the market, and what thought it'd be really cool if we create a platform that will route jobs to them. So, Taxfyle is an app where y'all could download it on iOS and get your taxes done directly through it via a CPA like myself. I'm not on the app, but I'm saying I'm a CPA, but we also route work from like institutionals. So if someone's outsourcing their accounting department, or a CPA firm is, let's say, tight with staff, which is a big trend over the past 12 months, and we think it's only going to get worse now. They put all this work on the platform, and so our algorithm prices out all that work on an individual basis. Kind of works like Match.com, based off, there's different type of CPAs, right? So if you specialize, let's say, in crypto taxes or something like that, you'll get matched up with these jobs. You'll see exactly how much you'll make on it, and by when you got to do it by. So that's a little bit about Taxfyle, yeah.
Awesome, Ricky. So I understand you're interested in crypto as well yourself. Could you tell us why our audience of mostly crypto investors might be interested in using Taxfyle?
Especially with the latest things going on in DC. It seems like crypto, they're really hell-bent, at least in the federal level, to treat crypto as a security, right? And not all platforms, especially, for your type of audience, are using Coinbase and their wallet. We're using, Swiss products, or Singaporean products, and that could really fall through the loopholes, right? Because when you deal with security, how crypto is trying to be treated in terms of from a tax position. Once you exit a position, right? Let's say you're moving from BTC to ETH, that now becomes a realizable event. And we don't really think about it, especially, as you guys know, let's say we're, we're DeFi, right? And we're collecting interest, and then we decide to add some LP, right? So we open up a pool, we're in a pool, we're staked, and now we want to get some action, getting interest in another one of the products on the website. You have to track all these things, and not all those entities are going to give you a 1099 like Coinbase, right? So it's not just when you move into cash, and the government's pretty, or at least they're saying they're going to be pretty serious about this. So it really helps to. There's a lot of great apps out there, but it really helps to consult someone, because given that these platforms are in different countries and different transactions, mean different things. Are you moving, like you said, to a stable coin? Are you moving to something that's more volatile, right? You really have to be organized in terms of netting out your gains and losses, and there's a ton of advantages there for you.
So obviously MetaMask doesn't provide those tax documents like Coinbase does, as you said. So what has been kind of the past method for reporting taxes with DeFi and MetaMask events? And what do you see as the better alternative that you provide?
Well, remember, I just supply the people. So when you get linked up to one of our crypto pros, they'll have their own software, right? So similar to like Uber doesn't own the cars for the drivers, right? But depending on your complexity, our algorithm detects, oh yeah, this is a high frequency trader or whoever, right? As opposed to someone that just had one position, on Ether or BTC or Litecoin or something on their app, right? So that's where Taxfyle can really help out. From there, it's really consultative, right? So you'll get matched up with your pro, and you work through their software. They'll see first of all what you got. I think it starts really, at home and being proactive on this stuff. So if you're looking to, tax season's not right around the corner, right, but we're getting closer to the end of the year, right? You may want to start getting organized, or else you might be faced with a crap ton of work come January, and you might have to extend, and then you realize, oh wait, even though I had all these gains and I found an extension, it's not an extension for payment. The IRS still wants their money by April 15th, right? So we see that snowball for individuals, right? And the best thing that you could do is work with someone if you need help in advance to get organized, or start getting organized yourself, because no one knows your crypto position like you. And and not even the best CPAs could look into, obviously, where you've had realized gains.
So tell me about this algorithm you mentioned. Is this a proprietary algorithm? Can it look through your MetaMask transactions? How does it determine like the best fit CPA for you?
So I'll say it's basically an intake form on our platform. Platform is called WorkLayer that we use to power Taxfyle. And whether, like I said, it's a crypto account or a 401k from question by question, start drilling into, okay, well, did it have a million transactions or was there one, and in what platforms, right? So on our end, it's basically our job to find someone with that level of sophistication, right? And it's not, when I say it's our end, it's the platform's doing it, not we don't have like an individual looking for coming through our 4,000 CPAs. It's someone that has maybe some I'm not going to prop up any crypto tax software, but they leverage something in their firm that really helps them out in terms of getting your Schedule D, which is a schedule on 1040 that you report all these transactions on, and they could really help you, let's say, net out your gains and losses, so that you're in an optimal position.
Makes sense. So what are some of the strategies you can use to lower your tax liability within cryptocurrency? Or are there any?
Yeah, there definitely is, but it's all proactive, right? So if you had what whatever happens in 2021, right? And then you're trying to file your taxes. You're kind of limited, right? Because it is what it is. I would say that the most of the best planning that we see, because there is no LKE. So for you guys, I don't know if you're familiar with LKE, but before it used to be like, oh, I'm trading a like kind asset for another like kind asset, and because I'm just rolling it forward from asset to asset, the IRS, there used to be this gray area where you could say, okay, well, that's not really a taxable event because I didn't get any cash from it. I didn't realize it. How am I going to pay taxes on something that I haven't gotten cash from, right? Like I have this basis of, on paper, $12 million or whatever it is, but my checking account only have 5,000. So how the hell am I going to pay, a huge tax bill on that? Now with this new regulation, it doesn't really matter. They're going to tax you for moving from asset class to asset class. So that's why getting proactive with this stuff is really important. It may affect when you exit a position, right? Or when you switch from one coin to another, if you need to, go to USDC, excuse me, or or Tether or something like that, a stable coin, and then eventually convert it to fiat, to pay your bill. But that's part of the planning, right? So making sure that, if you're going to get a 1099, this is going to be recorded as a gain. Okay. I'm going to have this liability. The other part is, I know, I know everyone gets wrecked every now and then. I should certainly have, and we've been doing it for quite a while here at Taxfyle. We've been trading, for a few years, but it's important to track all that because those losses offset your gains, right? So don't just think out of sight, out of mind. On to the next one. This is just a bad break. Record it because that would definitely offset some of that tax liability.
And are you able to write off gas fees as a transaction expense?
That's a good point. It depends on how you set it up. So the IRS distinguish really between hobby and work, right? So let's say you have enough justification, and it's kind of complex on determining this. It's more like a lawyer, that's making your case. That you're that you're doing this as this is your full-time job, right? As an avid worker, as opposed to just an enthusiast, right? This isn't something I just do in passing, right? So what that would trigger on your 1040, let's say if you are an active trader, is a P&L, which essentially means that on your 1040 you have a Schedule C, or better yet, if you're incorporated. Now, pros and cons, if you're incorporated, you want to track everything and make sure that you're really on top of it all. Because now you're incorporated and you're telling to the world that you're trading crypto under this entity. But the benefit are, yes, gas could be deducted, right, as cost of doing business. That's on your P&L. That's an expense, right? Obviously, your revenue on that business is your realized gains, right? And on your balance sheet, right, is the unrealized portion, right? So my long-term holdings on a position like ETH or whatever, right? So I would say, if you qualify, to do this as a legit business, and the best way to do that, to support it with the IRS, is to incorporate, even if it's just you set up an LLC, right? Coin Inc. something, and I'm sure that's taken. I'm just giving you an example, and through that entity, you log all your transactions, and if you do enough of it, it may pass the test.
I want to talk about NFTs just shortly. So are NFTs taxed the same way as other cryptocurrencies?
So right now they're not, but it seems like they're going to move the way of being treated as any other security. So there's a ton of ambiguity. I think the funniest thing is that the people creating these laws have, like, before you get to NFTs, they don't even understand the blockchain, proof of stake. Like, you talk to them about proof of stake and they have no idea. So it's like they're not even there yet. There's a lot of gray area. I think it's where we were in terms of general crypto tax laws like 4 years ago. Like, how do we treat Bitcoin? So to be honest, there's just, you have to just take it situational by situation, right? How big of a profile is this in terms of you as an individual, maybe working with a CPA if you have a big profile here. And a lot of the, in my experience, not just in crypto, but just, consulting for clients and what I've seen, through the tens of thousands of users that we have here, at Taxfyle, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of returns and schedules that we do every year, is taking a rational approach to it, right? Like, am I just blowing off millions and millions of dollars I'm not gonna, be reporting here, or really, obviously that's illegal, right? But it's like, okay, well, how big am I into NFTs, and how open, you have an opportunity to get up front of it. Just because it's not tax season doesn't mean you can't make an estimated payment or two, which, ahead of time, which really goes to be in the good graces of the IRS, right? Because let's say down the road they make a mistake, or you have to open up a case with them or something. That happens to everyone. Mistakes happen, and it happens pretty frequently. And it probably happened to anyone, by the time, we're dead in the ground here, over the next 30, 50, hopefully 60 years. But when that does happen, you want to make sure you have a clean record, right? And that all this stuff, that you're open and you're upfront with stuff, and you worked well with them, and you got ahead of payments.
So my follow-up question to that was, can you claim losses for an NFT, say by selling it before the end of the year, if it loses value, and then buying it back? I think you kind of already answered it. It's just not regulated enough, but do you have an answer for that?
I honestly, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And here's the thing: they're not going to see it as an NFT. They're going to see it as some type of asset, right? Whether security or another type of asset, right? So that's why I said it depends case by case. Your 1040 is your year's storybook. It's a chapter in your book, right, for the IRS, for that year. And depending on how all the narratives kind of string together, depends on whether you're in a stronger or weaker position in the rise.
Interesting. So you said that they're trying to classify NFTs as securities also. What would be their motivation behind this? Maybe just collect more tax money? Like, I'm guessing fine art isn't considered a security and it's taxed differently, right? So why wouldn't they apply the same rules there?
Like I said, I just think the people that have written these laws and in this infrastructure bill just weren't focused on NFTs, or on expertise, right? They got, their lobbyists from whatever institution. It's definitely not from Coinbase or from someone that knows what's going on. Although they're having more presence, in the industry, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it's probably someone from B of A or something, right? Protecting their own interests. So it's not really called out in the new bill. They want to classify, they throw this all blockchain stuff as, they want to treat all blockchain, okay, as a security. It's wild. I know. And I know that it could be treated, depending on what we're doing on blockchain, it will be, comparing apples to oranges, like in this case, in this example with NFTs, right? So, that's where we're at right now.
No one really knows.
Yeah, I think that if there would be a Silicon Valley of cryptocurrency, the U.S. is doing everything they can to push it outside of its borders. I think this is probably going to be detrimental for innovation, crypto innovation, blockchain innovation inside the U.S. Would you agree with that, Ricky?
It's weird, right? Didn't China for the 20th time ban crypto last week, right? So I have no idea what's going on. I really don't. It's tough. It's like, okay, well, are they just, some people are saying they're trying to sink it so that they could buy low, and then it's legal again, and then it pumps, and then it's illegal for the 21st time. So I don't even think it's like 4D chessing it, to be honest with you guys. I don't think, in terms of, this bill is in the trillions of dollars, right? Yeah. Like just the bill itself. Okay. There's so much things pushed through this thing that it's not like it's a crypto bill, right? It had its own little carve out, with its own, group of lobbyists on it that had their opinion. They're obviously going to, try to get this the section in the bill in their favor, right? Who knows what that is in terms of position, but in terms of the U.S. trying to push crypto offshore, I don't think they really care about that, because they just saw China, make it illegal. So then wouldn't that mean that a bunch of, Chinese, the most populated country, would try to do some stuff with crypto here, right? You guys all seen it on Twitter, all the mining equipment being steamrolled by a bulldozer, and the CCP putting that out there, right? So I have no idea. I definitely know that decentralization and blockchain, gives power to the people, and that's why it's a really hot topic, and it empowers individuals like us, and it's really, but also makes it really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. So back to another question on taxation. Are there any types of transactions in crypto that are not taxable events? Say, maybe if I put my money into a smart contract, you brought up the example of maybe a liquidity pool earlier. If my money's in a liquidity pool and it's transferring between, say, ETH and Bitcoin, is each one of those transactions a taxable event, or is that considered something else?
No, yeah, all those high frequency stuff definitely are.
Okay.
Yeah, so think about it. Sucks, I know. Yeah, it definitely sucks. So right now, the way that the realized gain is being realized, even though you're not moving to fiat, okay, at all, like, it's not like you're getting out your BlockFi card and you're paying for something. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. They're treating that as the exchange of one asset to another. That ties back into my previous point about how they got away from like kind of exchanges. Right. In the past, you could say that's a like kind of exchange, an asset for an asset, but now, no, they've been pretty explicit on that. That's a realized transaction, and depending on whether you're taking a loss on those microtransactions or a gain, they're all getting that out at the end of the year.
That's interesting, especially for a program like Uniswap, because they mint me. I provide liquidity on Uniswap, and they mint me an NFT. So really, I'm holding the non-fungible token, which has underlying assets in it. And at any given time, it could be Chainlink or Ethereum, depending on the ratio between those two. It's constantly trading. So, I mean, to me, it just doesn't seem realistic for the government to ask for me to be like, realize all these gains when I'm not really even realizing them. I'm holding a non-fungible token that represents any given ratio at any time of these two assets.
Yeah. Was it Coinbase? I don't know who it was. But a few weeks ago on Twitter, that they were really going into the reporting requirement that the brokers, because they're getting treated like brokers, right? So so this high frequency, not high frequency, but this liquidity pool, who is it through?
Uniswap.
Are they based here in the U.S.?
Uniswap Labs is, yes.
Yeah. All right. So they will be responsible for 1089. That's going to be a disaster for them. That's why. Yeah. Go look.
It'd be almost impossible for them.
Really?
Yeah. And the overhead, the expense to just track all that and to sort that out and send it out, and the liability that's associated with it. I think the liability is the real reason why Coinbase was being so vocal about this.
Yeah.
Because it's nuts. It's crazy. So it's really on them. But the ultimate responsibility is on you. So they have their own requirement. That's why they were looped into this latest bill, right? The brokerage requirement, and really anything over $10,000 has to be tracked. So it's basically everything.
Yeah, that's done in a second.
Yeah, exactly. So anything over $10,000, they got to record. All right. The government's trying to put this responsibility on them. Mm-hmm. Because they think that it'll add pressure to you guys, right, or to us, right, to then report. Because if we know it's being tracked by Coinbase or something, right, what happens is on a 1099 they give you a copy, but the other, side of it goes to the IRS, right? So once that's done, then you're like, well, I got to report this now, right? So that's the whole spirit behind the law. Obviously, without diving into the practicality of it.
Interesting. So the Uniswap protocol is decentralized, but the Uniswap Labs team operates outside of the U.S. If I was in their position, I would just go to the Bahamas or go somewhere outside of the U.S. boundaries, and then their problem is solved, right?
Well, the IRS are going to say no because technically they need to report this, right? Because they're certain know your investor. We know this. Anytime there was an initial coin offering, an ICO or whatever, right? You know, you can't accept someone from the US and, you know, all these crazy rules, right? On the brokerage, you know your investor type stuff. Technically, they still have the responsibility. Yeah.
What about, say you're running a trading bot and, you know, you're trading almost, you know, just as quickly as a liquidity pool, but you're using a third-party software and then on something that allows it, like Coinbase Pro or all that stuff. So you're pretty much saying that every single transaction, no matter what you use or how you do it, that's taxed just like how a stock is.
Yep.
That
it doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter which program.
Yeah.
Now it's all treated like the security, and you once you exit a position, it doesn't matter. That's it. That's what they're treating as a taxable event. It doesn't mean when you come back from, you know, the realm of crypto into fiat. It doesn't matter anymore. It's
any exit.
Whenever, any exit of any position. And then if you like, let's say you're just doing DeFi, right? So let's say, I don't know, I did Polycat, right? So Polycat or Becco or something like that. Let's say you know, you're just staking there and you're earning interest, right? But that's your only position, right? You came in with fiat, right? With USD in my case, right? That went to, you know, Tether, and then Tether I used to swap on KuCoin for Becco or something like that, or for Kai and then Kai into Becco. Okay, forget about all those microtransactions leading up, which technically would be taxable events, but there's not really a holding period gain or loss there because I'm just swapping one for one. Once I move into Becco and I start earning interest on it, that's essentially taxable interest, right? So my basis isn't, right? My basis isn't, and let's say, you know, usually, obviously with DeFi, the value of the coin actually goes down, but let's pretend that the value goes up, right? And you want to exit that position, right? Well, unless you exit that Becco coin to something else like Kai or something like that, you're not going to get taxed on it's because it's unrealized, right? But the interest is, so your earnings is, because that's paying out, right? So you have to technically report that. Obviously, you know, I don't know where Becco's out of, but I don't think it's the U.S. And they're not going to issue a 1089. So, I mean, kind of good luck with that, reconciling all that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, a lot of traders, myself, and I mean, pretty much anyone we talked to or talked about, are going to have kind of a really big eye opener when it comes to next year's taxes. I mean, last year I did my taxes for crypto and everything, but you're kind of, a lot of people were confused and there wasn't as many rules, but now people are going to flip. You know, it's just going to be kind of a little overwhelming. So we have people, you know, hire a professional to actually look at it and see it.
That's why we have Taxfyle.
That's right.
Yeah, look, it's a process you guys and your listeners should try to get ahead of, to be honest with you. You know, start planning and think about what happened this past year in terms of, just start with what projects were you in, right? And how that could be perceived by these guys, right? By the IRS, you know, so was I earning interest? Was I, you know, what was I doing? What, you know, was it just simply trading, you know, on KuCoin or something, right? And then think about all the transactions you made. That's why you hold there. Think about all the transactions you made, and then, you know, take your gains and losses, and then start working with someone to see, okay, well, we really should start paying on this, right? Because even if you have an exit a position, but you're earning interest on something, you still have to make probably quarterly payments on it, right? Like I said, just because you extend your tax form, your filing deadline, right? The IRS is always going to want their money, right? So when you owe them, all right, they want you to start paying, and at the end of the year, right, the fiscal year is over for them, right? You're going to have a balance due, right? So you have to start planning as to how you're going to pay that. Obviously, they're not going to take crypto. They take fiat, they take USD, right? So you have to probably think about what you want to exit to be liquid enough to, you know, to pay that bill. If you're lucky enough to be, you know, obviously on the right side of that, on that ledger, you could obviously have a loss, and then that's great. That'll go against your regular earnings. If you have another job or something.
Never been wanting a loss more than right now. So Ricky, I'm sure we'll be in touch. I'm sure you have experts, I'm assuming, for all these DeFi, NFT, crypto taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do. So if you just go to taxfile.com, you can
Linked
sign
in
up
the
or download.
description.
All right, cool. Thank you. And you'll get connected. You just answer some simple questions, and then you can start consulting with a CPA, and they could help be your therapist through the whole process.
Right.
For no extra charge. All right, guys. This was Ricky Lavina, the CEO and co-founder of Taxfyle. If you guys are deep into DeFi, maybe a little bit too deep, like I'm realizing I am right now, make sure to check out Taxfyle. Link in the description below. They can get you hooked up with an expert so you can get on top of your taxes this year. Ricky, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Have a good one. All righty. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. If you're just tuning in now, we did a little bit of news earlier, and we are about to do our market update and moon or bust at the same time. So we're going to start off with a couple cryptos that we picked out, and then we will pass it to you. Drop your coins and your NFT projects that you're looking at in the chat, and we'll pull them up, do a little market update for you. Let's get it started with some BTC and some Ethereum, the classics. Give me a second to pull up TradingView. Ryan, is there anything else you've been looking at this week that you might want to take a peek into?
I wouldn't mind looking at Sushi Swap since I have been buying some of that up over the past week, but definitely Bitcoin since everything follows Bitcoin, and Ethereum would be good too.
And we also saw Uniswap plus 25% yesterday, so we'll have to check that one out as well. Please work, Mr. TradingView. Okay, so here we have Bitcoin USD pair through the BitMEX exchange. And what we saw is a weekly close right around this bull market support band that we've been talking about for months now. So if you guys were watching last week, we said the most bullish scenario would be to close the weekly candle right around this line. And what do you know? Sunday, as we went into the close, we saw a huge rally right to the line we've been talking about. So a little bit of called it there. And we see this new weekly candle forming. It had a wick up, but now it is a little bit in the red. Slight pullback this afternoon, but I don't think we are in dangerous territory yet by any means. I think this is still very, very, very bullish, and I am prepared for takeoff. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that we pretty much called it, and it kind of followed the exact support and technicals we laid out. Because Bitcoin's not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and people realize that. And I don't think it fell below 40,000 once.
Yeah, there's a wick just barely, but
just a little bit below.
The bulls are definitely winning right now. At least it seems. We've tried to go down and break that $40,000 mark, and it seems like we are holding the line, like Logan said. These next couple of weeks are definitely going to be definitive, though, for Bitcoin and its price going through the rest of Q4 in this year. I'm starting to get FOMO already. I'm seeing us hold this line now 4 weeks in a row. I think that's pretty strong support. And I mean, I'm scared that I'm going to be stuck in some fiat currency and I'll have to be buying during the pump. But I mean, we have a couple more weeks, I think. We'll see where it goes. And I'll certainly be dollar cost averaging my position specifically into sushi for the upcoming week or a couple weeks ahead.
Maybe you should save some of that for your taxes, Ryan.
No, I don't have any profits. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've lost enough.
You hear that, SEC or IRS? Okay, so let's pull up sushi since you've been talking about it so much. I believe your thesis is Shoyu. Is that correct?
Shoyu is definitely a big part of it, specifically because they are paying very large dividends to sushi holders with Shoyu NFT. It's going to be 2.5% of the transaction fees on the platform. Right now, they pay dividends. They pay 0.05% of the transactions fees on the decentralized exchange. But I really like, my thesis is basically, I really like how they're adding value to the sushi token. They're finding different ways to diversify, to pay dividends out to the sushi token holders. And I also like how it's being actively developed, and they're making new programs that really don't have anything to do with a decentralized exchange. They're making an NFT marketplace. They have a token launch pad, and they have a lot of other features. I think that'll do them very well over the long term.
Nice. So do you have a target price for sushi in the next couple of weeks here?
Not in the next couple weeks. I've been trying to buy whenever it dips down to around $9 to $10. I'm trying to get it in under that $10 as my average cost because I think this could be a 10x over the market cycle. Right now, it's about a $1.2 billion valuation. So a 10x would bring it up to 12 billion, which, yeah, that's a lot of money, but a lot of other crypto projects already have that. I think Uniswap's probably more than $12 billion in market cap. And I could see Sushi overtaking eventually, which isn't good for my bags, but it hopefully will be eventually once I stack up the Sushi.
So you say you think you can see Sushi taking over Uniswap?
It's really hard to say. I think there is potential for it because of all these different avenues that are being developed to earn dividends for Sushi's tokens, as well as all the different programs being built on Sushi. But it's hard to say because, I mean, Uniswap was out first, and at the end of the day, SushiSwap did fork from Uniswap, so it does have some stigma there. And Uniswap will definitely be going up with the markets. And if Sushi 10x's, then, I mean, Uniswap's probably going to be going up quite a bit too. Probably not 10xing just because there's so much more capital that would have to be involved for Uniswap to 10x than it would be for Sushi because Uniswap has such a higher market capitalization.
We might see ones like 1 inch and offshoots like that kind of happen too.
Yep, I have some 1 inch, and I'm expecting that to do pretty well with the general markets. It's a DEX aggregator, so I mean it works alongside a lot of these other programs.
Yeah.
So yesterday we saw Uni rip from $17 at the bottom to about $25 at the top. I'm sure a lot of traders had a good day, and just as many had an equally bad day. It's pulled back a little bit since then, but it still looks like a breakout in my opinion. I mean, you can kind of see this line here. Maybe not a breakout, maybe more of a fake out, but we'll have to see. The next 2 days, next couple days will be very telling, as Ryan said. So, Brian, do you have anything you want me to pull up, or should we go to this plethora of coins we have in the chat?
Yeah, just pull up ADA for a second.
Alrighty.
So ADA also announced during their Cardano Summit, 2021 Summit, that they are not only integrating with Chainlink, but also being the strategic partner for Dish Network, who also has a subsidiary, Boost Mobile. So they're in talks where IHOK Media, which is the company that brought us Cardano, is going to be helping them build things such as the proof of coverage for cell phones or Dish Network, having your identity on the blockchain, and having referral programs through Cardano. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, that overnight will bring, once that's implemented, will bring over 9 to 10 million people over to the Cardano blockchain, over just like that. So there's a lot of bullish movements here. Even though they've been slow to run things out, there's a lot of people trusting them, and we think that Charles Hodgkinson's Hodgkinson's is going to
nice try,
actually make things happen. I mean, it makes me even way more bullish on ADA and Cardano in general than I have ever been, and I've always liked it. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
Do they have smart contracts yet?
Yeah, kind of.
What's a smart contract?
Yeah, who needs them? Apparently you don't.
Apparently not.
Okay, so speaking of Cardano partnerships, also Chainlink, we talked about this a little bit earlier. They are integrating with the Cardano network for oracles into the real world. This is going to be very bullish for Chainlink and Cardano both. We saw some crazy price action. I think this might have been, or actually no, it was just released recently. So these are the weekly candles. It could not have been that one. But yeah, I guess we're still looking for that breakout on this trading pair right here.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna integrate Chainlink into their technology, and a lot of stuff that isn't even blockchain related to do so. I mean, the weather service, the company that provides the weather channel, AccuWeather, they've integrated. So I mean, there's only good news for a lot of these things to move in the future.
All right, what's up, Jim Cruz? We got Coty here for you. This is a smart contract blockchain. I think it's an Ethereum competitor. and you can program smart contracts in any language on this chain. I think that's its selling feature. It's been a while since I really dove into this project, but we see it here in full-on price discovery mode. It has broken through the May, actually looks like March was their all-time high, and so we're going to look for this continued movement. I'm assuming. What do you guys think about this chart?
I don't know much about it. Is it like Cartesi, CRTSI, where you can write smart contracts in any language as well?
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think Cody's a different project. Maybe we can pull it up on CoinMarketCap really quickly just to do a quick fundamental
It's a
analysis
fintech platform. Yeah, I just brought it up. We should definitely go into it because, yeah, you're thinking of Cartesi, but this is a little bit different.
I personally
currency of the internet.
Yeah, currency of the internet. That sounds right, Cody. I personally never buy into all-time highs when I see this, which, I mean, that's just my personal trading preference. I feel like there's a little bit too much risk to get in once we're breaking new all-time highs. But that being said, once you're in price discovery, I mean, sentiment changes really fast, and you could see huge gains still. We saw that with Solana, and we saw that with a lot of other cryptocurrencies. Even just Bitcoin, you see that when we go up to a new all-time high, you never see it just go up another 5% from the all-time high. That's when the mania starts, and that's when you can really make big gains. But personally, I try to enter positions when there's fear in the market and not when there's FOMO. I find that works better, and it's generally less risky.
No, this is actually a pretty cool project. If you scroll down and see where they said what makes it unique is it allows you to create your own coins that are stable in price and take control of your finances and your data. And so you can pretty much turn this into really however you would like it. If you need a stable coin, if you want to make sure that you're creating something that gives you the best, just control of everything that you do. That's pretty neat. I don't know what the new regulations for everything is going to happen with it or how that affect it, but I haven't seen something like this.
Very cool. If you're just tuning in, this is Moon or Bust, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. Right now, we're going over your token picks in the chat, so drop them down there. And while you're down there, make sure to drop us a like if you are enjoying the content. Okay, so next up, we got Chili's. Jim Cruz again with another nice recommendation for us. So Chili's is like a sports integration network. So they have partnerships with a bunch of the huge soccer clubs over across the pond, and now they are expanding into the US. They could see a boom in activity and price and these brand name recognition with all these US partnerships. This could be very bullish. Zoom out a little bit. They are still a ways down from their all-time high. So this might be a good one to get into if you're not already. It looks like they had a little bit of a attempted breakout and shot back down on that China FUD. But do you guys know anything about this coin? You want to add anything here?
I know it's a platform and teams can make their own fan tokens, which is an interesting concept. We don't really see it implemented in blockchain too much. I think Chili's really has the market for this right now, and they have the biggest partnership. So, I mean, in that sense, with the fundamentals, I think it's a good investment. I think the technicals look good too right now. It's down, 60% or so from all-time highs. And if the market continues to go up through Q4, I could see Chili's outperforming a lot of these larger market cap coins.
Yeah. They're also big with soccer teams and fans. So it's more of an international thing than for us than a US thing, but it's pretty big in those areas. So that's a huge influx of users that want, those sort of NFTs or have a token player. A player's token or all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of room to go with this one.
Mm-hmm. We got Crypto Maniac in the chat. Shout out Matthew Stafford. He also wants to know about SoFi. Is this similar or no? So no, SoFi is a centralized lending platform where you can give them your coins and other people will borrow them from SoFi, and you can earn some interest on them through their, what's it called? Custody wallet, custody program.
Unless there's a SoFi cryptocurrency that we're missing out on.
Oh boy, is there?
You never know.
By the way, guys, if you're curious to learn more about SoFi, check out Benzinga's SoFi review that Ryan and I worked on.
Have you heard of rule number 35?
No, I haven't. What's that?
It's if it exists, there's a cryptocurrency of it.
That was a good one.
There is social finance, but this is definitely not.
I mean, it's ranked 6,000. Yeah.
With the real SoFi, so
we can go over Zequilla. I can't say some of these.
Zaliqua, maybe.
Yeah, Zaliqua. Well, I don't know how to say it. I was trying to guess. Yeah, this is a old school one, but not quote unquote old school, but it's super decentralized, anonymous, and a lot like Monero.
Monero, there
We're
you
all
go.
over the place today. Yo, producer Rohan, can we get a supercut of that?
Yeah. If I say it wrong, then I get embarrassed, and then I just say it wrong again. It's just like a snowball effect.
Yeah,
good content right there. You need to do some vocal
TikTok
warm-ups
compilation
before the next episode. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. TikTok supercut of all the goofs. Okay, so let's see. What is the use of this? Is like Monero, you said? Old coin. Oh,
yeah,
look,
I mean, they were just asking. We can like go into it. It says a decentralized blockchain with a token, and they kind of revel in the anonymous transactions like Monero.
I gotcha. Okay, it is 3:00. Unfortunately, guys, we are out of time. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. If you're new to Benzinga or new to Moon or Bust, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video so YouTube will show it to more people. We can grow our community. Also, if you're here for crypto, do not forget to subscribe to the Benzinga Crypto separate YouTube channel. It's the first link in the description below. We are going to move over to that channel and really push growth on that once we hit 1,000 subs. So make sure you're early if you want to be entered in that giveaway. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. As I've already said, I'm going to take this off. And you guys have any closing thoughts for us, Ryan or Brian?
Follow me on Twitter for Mutant Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to work on my vocal lessons. I don't know. I'm not a professional.
Shout out to all the apes out there in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter. Connect with us. We'd love to talk to you. But until then, we will see you on Wednesday. Right now, we have pre-market prep at the close coming up. So if you want that stonk alpha, make sure to stick around. All right. Peace, guys.
Why the heck did we have 10 people watching when we started?
There was no redirect.
Fuck.
It was Acol. You can blame.
It's all Akol's fault.